How am I supposed to human after this? How am I supposed to go back to being a regular muggle after this interaction? So, yesterday, I'm at the parlor, and I have a repeat client that shows up. This is their first time seeing the parlor. They came in, and they wanted to say hi, they wanted to see it, and they decided that they wanted to have a past life glimpse session with me. So, yay, it's the first one in the parlor. So, I'm excited. They're excited. We do the session, and the session alone ended up being way more than just your basic here's your lesson, here's the past life, here's what's going on. Like, no, this session ended up being an activation and a step to like giving glimpses into like what's to come, what they need to do. After the session, like I check in with my clients. I always do this. I ask how they're feeling, if they have any questions, if anything is bubbling up for them, like, doing a full check-in. They said that it was validating, that everything that came through in the session was very much mirrored in the life that they are currently living. So it, yay, it did the job. They are like, can I tell you about what happened after the last session I had with you? And I'm like, sure, of course. This is your time. This is your space. Like, I'm here to say, like, to hold the space for you. And they said, our last session, at first when I heard it, it felt like it didn't really resonate. I kind of thought that it was a little out there, but, it is what it is. And I'm like, all right, not every session's going to be, like, dead on and right there, so don't, like, hey, I'm not offended by it. And then they said, well, I felt that at the time, but then I realized that the reason the session was so weird and out there was because you put me one day into the future. I'm sorry, what? And they were like, yes, you ended up putting me one day into the future, and you gave me a map and told me exactly where I needed to go. I did that. I gave you a map. And it's really great that you did, because being where I needed to be helped me accomplish something that ultimately led to another, like, a really big spiritual awakening for them. What? They said, you brought me to a beach in this session, which I vaguely remember that being what the thing was. I don't remember every single session. Like, do you remember every single math problem you've ever done? No, but you still know how to do math. Kind of works that way when I do my channeled sessions. I remember the things that I need to, and things that also ring true for me, but, like, I don't remember all of them. They were like, you painted this picture of being at a beach, and then you basically described a whole mapped out scenario. You gave me which directions I needed to go, and at the time it didn't feel like it really was anything pertaining to me. So, but it is what it is. At the next day, her friend randomly called them up and was like, hey, do you want to go to the beach with me? And they were like, oh, sure, that's weird, but yeah, let's go to the beach. They go to the beach, and they pull up to where they're at, and they go, wait, hold on. This looks eerie, almost exactly like the way that, I had described it the day before. While they were going and figuring out where they wanted to, like, set up their day, like where they were going to spend the time at the beach, they were like, okay, well, I remember in the reading you said go this way and go this way, so that's exactly what I did. And we found a space, we were there, and they didn't say exactly how long they were there, but a tragedy happened. A tragedy happened while they were there. Unfortunately, a younger person ended up drowning. The paramedics and them, they recovered the body. Unfortunately, they did not make it. Because my client had been exactly where she was on the beach, because the client was exactly where they were on the beach, they were able to be there to meet the person who had just passed, their soul. They were able to help them process what had happened. They were able to help them understand the gravity of what had occurred, and ultimately ended up being able to, like, help them along to the other side. Which then kicked off, like, a huge awakening for them. Right? Right? How? Yeah. Scenery change. But this is why I do what I do. Why I love what I do. Because even though I have been doing this for X amount of years, like, I still get blown away every single time. Like, my sessions aren't just random sessions. They're meant to help you. They're meant to help guide you. They're meant to plant seeds. They're there to use as a tool for you to dive deeper into yourself, for you to explore what's out there. And no, we may not always understand what's coming through at that time. I just ask that you keep it in the back just in case. You know, it may not make sense now, but that might not be the case later down the road. I love what I do. I love that I get to say I do this professionally, and I can't wait to connect with you, whoever you are watching this, whether it's virtually or in person. My parlor curtain is always open.